All right, here's just some quick homework help with 17.2, the problems we haven't had a chance to talk about, just so you have an example of each. We've already done problems very much like question 6. We did them when we were given degrees, and that's what I have this little picture of from my desk when I was working today. So this is the same thing, we're just talking about radians. So the first thing we want to do is figure out, or just label what we're talking about. So cosine we know is x. So we're looking at the x value. 7 pi over 4, that's almost 2 pi. So if you count by fourths, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're like over here. That means we're in the fourth quadrant. So we're in quadrant 4. And in quadrant 4, I guess I should write that better. In quadrant 4, x is positive. And then we want to figure out what that matches. And if we match across, 7 pi over 4 is the same as just pi over 4. So this matches pi over 4, which happens to be the same as 45 degrees. This one's going to be pretty easy. So we're looking for cosine in that quadrant, and cosine of, we'll write it correctly, 7 pi over 4 is going to be the positive of whatever's at 45 degrees. And if I look at my notes, that's going to give me positive square root of 2 over 2. All right, make sure you're using your notes to help you with those. So you should be able now to do questions 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so make sure that you're able to do those questions. All right, questions 10 through 17 are super easy. It tells you to use a calculator. The only thing you have to do is make sure that you change how you're typing, or the mode, that your calculator is in. So remember, if you hit mode, the mode button, I think it's the, let me check, it's the third option down. You have an option between radians versus degrees. And we've always chosen degrees in the past, so obviously the top, if you're given degrees, you want to make sure you choose degrees. On these bottom ones, when you're given radians, you need to change the mode to radians before you begin typing your values in. And you just hit the corresponding function and type in the value that they give it, and your answer will be some type of decimal, usually about 4 digits is appropriate. All right, and then 18 and 19 are way easier than they look. I'm going to use a calculator on these to show you, hopefully if you have a calculator, for the questions like this on your EOC, that you'll be able to use those. So the first thing I want to look at is they give me a degree measure, or sorry, not a degree, an angle measure. This one's in radians, so I made sure that I changed the mode in my calculator to radians. And they're talking to me about the y coordinate here. Remember, the y coordinate is with sine. So in my calculator, I've typed in sine of 2.7, making sure that I'm in radians. And when I do that, I get 0.427. Mine says 37, so I'm going to round that to 4. And then this says I have a radius of 10. A radius of 5. So all I'm going to have to do then, this sine value, just in general, remember we're talking about the unit circle, so this is when you have a radius of 1. So if we have a radius of 5, we're just going to multiply that value by 5. So when I do that, 0.4274 times 5, I got the value, the y coordinate, to be 2.137 when I round. All right, so that's all you have to do there. 18 should be just as easy. You can use the unit circle if you want to with this one with 135, but you can also use your calculator. All right, and there are the answers for the remaining problems that you have left. So if you want to try those and then check the answers, I really just need you to get practice and make sure you feel confident on how to do any of these things for the tests, because you know I'm going to be pulling exact questions from these for your test this week.